You wanna know my name or the name of my horse? You ask me.
All right, we back at it. Y'all happy and holy holidays. That's to everybody out there to whatever you celebrate. Yule, Candlemas, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. Happy and holy holidays to all y'all. And Happy New Year to you as well. As the new year approaches us, may this new year be prosperous and forthcoming for everybody out there listening, everybody out there doing their thing, y'all. To do gooders, to do batters, to you diligent folks out there, to you devoted folks, to you warriors, combatants, everybody out there. Big shout outs to the LDBC. Big shout outs to the YTBC. And big shout outs for my boosters. Well, I shouldn't call them that. To my antique collectors. Got me a new encyclopedia collection. So shout outs to the L team, Papa Roy and Porter. Now we're going to be taking a whole bunch of material from this World Book Encyclopedia, World Book Incorporated, copywritten and published in 1987. All right. Now I know y'all remember hearing about the Boxer Rebellion. And if you're anything like me, I didn't know much about it. I remember skimming over in history class and seeing, shorts about it maybe in movies, or as I'm looking up boxing, the Boxing Rebellion will come up. Bam. This encyclopedia has it. So we're going to delve into this, the Boxer Rebellion, before we delve into a new chapter of updated boxing info. Because remember, the last encyclopedia was, I think, published in the 60s. So it had a good take, primary resource encyclopedia take on boxing. This one has more information, but without further ado, let's start off, y'all. The Boxer Rebellion.
I'm feeling great. I'm ready to go to war right now.
Boxer Rebellion was a bloody uprising in northern China in 1900, in which hundreds of Chinese and more than 200 persons from other countries were killed. The Boxer Rebellion climaxed the movement in the late 1800s against the spread of Western and Japanese influence in China. The movement was started by a secret Chinese society called Yi Ho Chuan, spelled IHOCH'UAN, which means righteous and harmonious fist. Yi Ho Chuan, righteous and harmonious fist. This society was originally connected with the White Lotus sect, which opposed the Manchus, or the Manchus, the rulers of China. Westerners nicknamed members of this group boxers because they practiced gymnastics and calisthenics. In the 1890s, the boxers began to oppose the spread of foreign influence in China. Many other Chinese shared these anti-Western feelings, and even the Manchus secretly approved the movement. In 1900, the boxers set out to destroy everything they considered foreign. They slaughtered Chinese Christians, missionaries, and other persons from foreign countries, and anyone they found who supported Western ideas. They burned houses, schools, and churches. When foreign diplomats in Peking sent out calls for troops, the Manchu government declared war against the foreign powers. Y'all, Peking is now modern day Beijing. All right, continuing on. Boxers and government troops besieged the legations, parentheses, official residences of foreign diplomats, end of parentheses, in Peking from June 21st to August 14th, 1900. Read that again. Boxers and government troops besieged the legations in Peking from June 21st to August 14th in 1900. Foreign guards, civilians, and Chinese Christians courageously resisted. Finally, a rescue force from 8 nations crushed the uprising. On September 7th, 1901, the Manchu government and representatives of 11 other nations signed a final settlement called the Boxer Protocol. On September 7th, 1901, the Manchu government and representatives of 11 other nations signed a final settlement called the Boxer Protocol. China agreed to execute several officials and punish many others and destroy many forts, and to pay about $330 million in damages. Again, y'all, after the Boxer Protocol was signed, China agreed to execute several officials, punish others, destroy many forts, and to pay about $330 million in damages. In 1908, the United States returned part of the money it had received and wanted it to be used for educational purposes. Britain and Japan later did the same. Article by Emmanuel C.Y. Hsu. His name's spelled H-S-U, so I'm assuming he's Chinese or Asian or something. And at the end of the article it says, see also China, the fall of the Manchus. John Milton, the open door policy. Anyway, y'all, that's what the encyclopedia has about the Boxer Rebellion. Now, we kind of know or somewhat have an idea. After reading this article, I just skimmed online a little bit about the Boxer Rebellion, got more in depth, and I said, oh, okay, that's what those boxers were looking like. Y'all, if y'all can remember certain scenes from the Yip Man prequel, it looked like those young Chinese men were boxers. Or if you can remember the few movies that Jet Li did where he had his whole head, it ain't funny, I mean, that's just their cultural look, but his whole head was bald, but like a patch, like a circle patch in the back of his head with like a long ponytail coming from it. A lot of the boxers in the early 1900s, late 1800s in China had that look, that cultural look with the long robe or the clothes fully covering them and that patch or circle of long hair coming out the back. But Jet Li did a few moves like that. And remember, he was fighting those foreigners in the ring. Remember, he was fighting the big English dude. He was fighting all those people from different countries. That was depicting the Boxer Rebellion. And it surprised me how many nations loped up together, how many nations came together to beat down China. Because China at first was tearing them up. They was tearing up Britain and Japan. But then, what was 11 total? 9 other nations came to help. And those being USA came to help to beat down China, Germany, Netherlands. Nations you wouldn't even think had nothing to do with fighting. Italy came over there to help beat down China. Russia. Well, Russia and China always had beef, but I was like, dang. And if y'all can remember during this time in history, early 1900s, I'm trying to think why they was trying to lock up and beat down China. Well, of course, for power and trade routes, but the United States had just whooped down the Philippines. I just got some territory and set up, legations and embassies in the Philippines. So they was right there. They was already below China for the sneak attack from the back. The United States was already in Philippines, and if y'all can remember, over here in the mainland, over here in America, the great Elijah McCoy, where we get the real McCoy from, had just hooked up the railroad system. These dudes out here with this stuff out here, y'all.
Monsieur Candide, whenever you're ready.
If y'all can remember over here in the inland, the actual landmass America, the late great Elijah McCoy, where we get the term the real McCoy from. An original man, an Afro-American. He had just created a lot of things for the railroad system and, things having to do with the railways and trains and tracks. He made a lot of inventions for that, and a lot of that stuff was being built over here during that time. you know, particularly by Chinamen was over here helping, Japanese, of course, you know, black men, original man, we was over here doing our thing, you know, helping put it down. And I think some Irish folks and some other folks. But anyway, getting long-winded, y'all. That's the Boxer Rebellion, small snippet out the encyclopedia. The next encyclopedia read, we're going to have an updated version of Bosi. Stay diligent, baby. Love and peace.
It's impossible, tell it. It's impossible. Never lost a fight in your life. Ask any of my fans when was the last time they lost. I'm too fast. Champion from the crib. I'm the king. King of the champ. Throw the champ from the crib. Ah!